You are good to go.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday, April 27th, 2021, and I now call to order the 2073rd regular meeting of the City of College Place City Council. Will the clerk please take roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Councilmember Bobbitt,
Present.
Councilmember Cleveland,
Present.
Councilmember Selby,
Present.
Councilmember Sherman,
Present.
Councilmember Trope,
Present.
Councilmembers Peterson and Nyhagen have requested to be excused tonight. We do still have a quorum. We also have, of course, Mayor Hernandez, City Attorney Ree Colwell, City Administrator Mike Rizzatello, Finance Director Brian Carlton, Human Resource Manager Sean Doring, myself, City Clerk, and Rhonda Gould with the Walla Walla County Rural Library District has joined us as well.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Sorry, hang on for just one moment. I'm having a technical glitch.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And Councilmember Bobbitt, will you please conduct the invocation?
Yeah, I invite you to bow your heads with me. Our kind Father in heaven, we thank you for another opportunity to be part of our community. We want to pause now and ask that you will be with us during this meeting and that you will guide us and encourage us. We pray in Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. It's time for public comment. And Lisa, did anyone submit a comment or arrange to speak?
No, they did not.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to consent agenda, which consists of approving the agenda for today, April 27th, 2021, approve council minutes from April 13th, 2021, the check register and financials for March 2021, applicant match for the RCO grants, and we are to excuse the absences of Council Member Peterson and Nyhagen.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second?
It's Councilmember Selby, second.
Any
I
other
think Selby got that
discussion?
one.
Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? All right, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. Okay, we're going to move on to presentations, and let me pull this up. Oh, okay. So the first is a proclamation for Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month, as brought to me by our Inclusion and Diversity Board. So, whereas Asian Pacific American Heritage Week was created by Jimmy Carter in 1979, at which time he stated his proclamation that America's greatness, its ideals, its system of government, its economy, its people derives from contributions of persons. Contributions of people of many origins who come to our land seeking human liberties or economic opportunities. Further stating, Asian Americans have played a significant role in the creation of a dynamic and pluralistic America, with their enormous contributions to our science, arts, industry, government, and commerce. Unfortunately, we have not always fully appreciated the talents and contributions in which Asian Americans have brought to the United States. Until recently, our immigration and naturalization laws discriminate against them. There was They were also subjected to discrimination in education, housing, and employment. And in World War II, our Japanese American citizens were treated with suspicion and fear. Jimmy Carter declared the week beginning May 4th, 1979 as Asian Pacific American Heritage Week. He called upon the people of the United States, especially the educational community, to observe this week with appropriate ceremonies and activities. And whereas over the next 10 years, President Carter, Reagan, and Bush continued to issue proclamations in support of Asian Pacific American Heritage Week. Later, in 1990, Congress passed publication 101-283 or I-101-283, revising Asian Pacific American Heritage Week to Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. And whereas the city of College Place in Washington includes a community of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders who richly contribute to our community, and whereas the city of College Place, Washington, is committed to supporting Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders as they continue to grow and enrich our community. And whereas the city of College Place can provide opportunities to enrich the lives of all people by involving and including Asian American Pacific Islanders to members of our community, promoting inclusion and providing support for coexistence in the community, encouraging AAPI community members to speak up for themselves and others, as well as encourage the community to speak up for Asian and Pacific Islanders, providing opportunities for AAPIs to share their experience, provide a safe environment free of hate and zero tolerance, discrimination, and racism policy in our city of College Place public school system. And lastly, providing resources and support for those who are disproportionately affected by hate. Now therefore, I, Norma L. Hernandez, Mayor of the City of College Place, Washington, do hereby proclaim May 2021 to be Asian Pacific American Heritage Month in the City of College Place. And I urge every resident to take time during the month to acknowledge Asian Pacific Americans as an influential and valued individuals who greatly contribute to our community. Given under my hand and seal as Mayor of the City of College Place, Washington, the 27th day of April, 2021. All right, thank you. Next on the agenda is a library update from Ms. Gould. The table is yours, Rhonda.
Hey, thank you. It's a pleasure to be back here. I haven't seen you all for quite some time. We have a lot of things going on at the library this coming week. We're reopening on May 3rd to the public, and that means that the College Place Library will finally be open to the public without an appointment. Yay! So we're really excited about that. I cannot tell you how long I've waited to tell that to you. It's been almost a year. So we are changing our hours. We're increasing our hours that will be open. So Monday through Thursday, we will be open 11 to 7, and then Friday 11 to 5, and Saturday 11 to 4. And at this time right now, we're still closed on Sunday, but we do anticipate that we'll be open on Sunday when the state or when our area is able to go into phase 4. So look forward to that. We're still continuing curbside service, and we are still social distancing and masking, but we will allow up to 10 people who are not related at the same time into the library building. So we're really excited about that. No appointments will be needed, and you can just walk right in and check things out. Our meeting room will be available when we get into phase 4. Other things going on May 3rd is that our new College Place manager will start, and her name is Jen Stutzman, and she used to work at the community college, and she has a Master of Library Science degree from UW, and we're really looking forward to adding her to our staff and seeing what she brings to not only to the College Place community, but also to the library district. She very dynamic and will be a really good asset for all of us. We do plan on participating in the farmers market this year. We will be there with our purple tent again, at least at the beginning, but probably into maybe late May, we'll have a bookmobile. We're buying a bookmobile from Mid-Columbia System that they are just taking out of service, and it just worked out perfect timing wise for us to be able to purchase that. So we'll have our bookmobile at the farmers market, and we'll have it at other events around town. So probably 4th of July celebrations, holiday parades, things like that. So we're really excited to have this, and it will enable us to bring library services to areas of the county that we don't serve, like Dixie, or it'll let us get service back out to Vista Hermosa, and it'll let us get out to different areas within the College Place community to provide library service. Summer reading program starts June 28th. It'll run through August 14th. We've hired 2 performers. One's a magician and one is a storyteller juggler. And our theme this year is Reading Colors Your World. So we have programming for kids of all ages, birth on up, and we'd like to call our programming Cradle to Grave programming for summer reading program, because there's something for everybody. And let's see here. We'll have some outdoor programming, especially this summer with some of our pandemic restrictions or social distancing restrictions. So we will continue to do that. We will have some story times that are virtual. We're doing virtual story time right now, and it's a lot of fun. Mr. Chris is the children's librarian here in College Place, and he does a fantastic job with his story times, and he and the children's programmer over at Burbank collaborate a lot and have come up with some really fun things for story time. And I don't know if you've seen our Facebook page. I think this latest one was something to do with pirates, and they had a quite interesting craft project that used foil and a red Solo cup to create a hook, a pirate's hook. So that was a lot of fun, and kids have really enjoyed that. We're doing a lot of take-home crafts, and we even have a program for adults where we've been providing packets of spice from Penzeys Spices, and some recipes and a flyer and some links to the 2 recipe databases that we have in our digital catalog. So that's been a lot of fun, really popular. Every other month it's something based in the US, and then on the opposite month it's something international. And patrons have really enjoyed that. We had hotspots. Some of you may have seen the sign out in front of City Hall. We've had to get them back in because the devices have been recalled. So as soon as we get replacement devices from Verizon, we'll be getting those back out. And we also expect to have additional funding from the federal funds that are channeled through the state library that should allow us to circulate up to 40 of these hotspots throughout the 4 libraries in the county right now. Also, we're working on a new website. We've decided this last year that our website did not meet our needs, and we are making good progress on that. We just got the wireframe for that, so we could actually see what a template for what it'll look like. And I think everyone will really like it. It's super easy to use, and will be very information driven. And our goal with that is to consider our website actually another branch or an extension of our library services. And then finally, we are about to embark on strategic planning. So expect to hear a lot more about that in the next few months. We are also going to be doing some capital building planning with the anticipation that we will be building on our 2 acres on College Avenue in College Place. So does anyone have any questions for me?
Rhonda, that's quite exciting.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Like we're making up for lost time last year.
Just as we were getting ready and COVID hit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Congratulations on your new hire.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is very exciting. Does anybody have a question or comment for Rhonda? Melody?
This is Councilmember Selby. I'm
Yes.
very excited to hear your report. I'm excited to be able to actually get to go into the College Place Library because I haven't yet, so that'll be amazing. Can groups, or not really groups, but places like nursing homes or someplace like that request bookmobile scheduling?
Yes, absolutely. We have a staff person who is currently going around to some of the nursing homes and assisted living facilities in College Place and dropping off bins of materials and then going back and picking them up. But we can definitely schedule bookmobile stops at any of the assisted living or nursing home facilities in town.
And also, are you going to continue potentially some of the online story times, etc.,
Yes.
even after?
Yeah, even after we're done, we'll still continue with those online story times. They've been really popular. We don't always think so, just given the initial statistics we see on Facebook, but we hear from members of the community that the families that have been stuck at home during the pandemic and parents that work and things like that really find it beneficial to have that.
Thank you. I'm just so excited about all of these great opportunities.
Thank you.
And I check out like a zillion ebooks from you guys all the time.
Great.
I do have one more thing. When
Yes.
you're doing your strategic planning, maybe you could look into the possibility of allowing more holds at one time on your ebooks.
Okay. All right. I can check into that. Some of that I think is set by the State Library Consortium, but I'll look into that and I'll let you know.
Great. Yeah, I suspect it might cost more, so that's probably not, but.
Yeah. Oh, I did forget, we do have a new service called Simply E. We're part of a beta project with the State Library. And you can use your library card to authenticate yourself, and then you have access to a collection that the State Library procured for us, and also for the Simply E collection. And Simply E was started by New York Public Library as an alternative to Overdrive. A lot of the materials are things that where the copyright is expired or something like that, but they do have a lot of items that have unlimited checkout. So you don't have to wait any length of time for something to get quote unquote checked back in and returned so that you can check it out. So if you just download, it's an app called Simply E. It's Simply, the letter E.
I will definitely look into that. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else have a question or comment? All right, doesn't look like it, Rhonda. We are truly excited to have the library district as part of our community. We're looking.
Yeah, we're very excited to be a part of College Place.
We've been waiting a long time and can't wait to see your bookmobile.
Great. It's coming. End of next month.
There you go. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You as well. That is exciting. Okay, next on the agenda is information on opening City Hall and the police lobby. Mike and Sean will be giving and Lisa will be giving a presentation on that.
Do you want me to get started, Mike, or are you gonna go?
You could go, Sean.
Okay. So basically the same message as Rhonda, except for without all the fun stuff. We are planning on reopening our lobby at City Hall and at the police department starting May 3rd, as long as we stay in the same phase that we're in now. We created a reopening committee to go ahead and review all the requirements. We followed the requirements that were recommended by MRSC for the professional services industry, as there wasn't something specific to government agencies. And then also the COVID-19 workplace safety information and health requirements from L&I. So a lot of the things are things that we've already been doing this whole time, just reminders to make sure that now that we're going to be open, that we need to be following all of them. So like we have been all along, wearing masks, washing our hands, minding our social distance. So, and the things that we've been doing all along. So we have our reopening plan in place. And as of May 3rd, we will be open. Limited, hopefully it'll go well. We don't expect to be super busy, but we'll see. Mike, do you have anything to add?
I just thank everyone on the reopening committee. That's on slide 3. It was cross collaborational between the agencies, the departments here, because we're trying to make sure that we can be as public facing as possible while still maintaining everyone's safety. However, one of the things is that while we are reopening the lobbies, because of the various pieces of guidance dealing with the Open Public Meetings Act and limitations within our council chambers, we still need to have these meetings online unless they finally ever release a phase 4 that's a little more lax and things like that. I'll turn it over to Lisa as she can speak to the nitty gritty about the public meetings. Lisa?
Okay. So basically what I did is I just came into the presentation that I gave back in February regarding the limitations we have with meeting the OPMA guidelines while we are also meeting COVID guidelines. And one of the additional aspects that the governor has put in place and the legislature has put in place is that for the time being, and I don't know if or when they will ever discontinue, we are required to, even if we meet in person, have the virtual aspect as well. So I basically just took this same presentation, if my computer would work just a little bit better. And the only things that have changed are the items in red. So phase 3 now is what we're in, changes to 50% capacity. Which would give us 36 people in the council chamber, provided we could put 36 people in there still spaced 6 feet apart, which in a meeting room setting is not feasible. However, I do want to let you know that with the Recovery Act funding, Mike has given John and I the go-ahead to look into a renovation of council chambers to upgrade the chambers and the AV systems in there to appropriately address the requirement to have virtual meetings as well as in person, so that once we're at that point where we have a system in place that can do that, then we can look into whatever status we're at as far as capacity for the rooms and that sort of thing. But I think that would be one of the easier things to deal with once we have the renovation in place. This is going to be a major renovation though, like we're going to do it right the first time so that we don't end up with issues down the road. So John's going to be working on getting an engineering design, and we're going to do it correctly And while we have that funding that is for this kind of thing, to make us be able to have those meetings with the virtual participation aspect as well. So we're moving towards that. But I just want to make sure you guys are aware that it's potentially going to take a little while. We'll put the pressure on John. Facilities, you know, he's got community development and facilities. He doesn't have much going on. So.
And the feds in the state, because we have yet to get the contract yet for the pass-through grant money.
Right. Right. So all of the other issues with meeting OPMA requirements, none of that has changed. So we're still dealing with all of that, but we do hope with this recovery money, once we get it, that we can look into getting that renovation done, and hopefully, I don't know how long it'll take, but just as fast as we can get it done, get you guys back in person. Any questions or
Comments?
comments?
All right.
Remember, we're on camera if you've got comments.
All right, thank you all. Next, we're going to move on to our public hearing, where we have a couple of public hearings scheduled tonight on the community development block grant application. So first, the Safe Walk College Place 6th and 8th Street project, and Mike Rizzatello will present on that.
Okay, thank you. So Safe Walk College Place, that's the title of that. Robert Gordon actually gave this initiative, and the state bought off on it, because it's being looked at holistically. As long as we get one project phased out, they tend to look favorably toward funding the next iteration. So as you may recall, about 2 years ago, we ended up getting the CDBG grant to go put sidewalks on Bay Davis and 12. That agenda item to actually go build it is later in this meeting. So that'll get that off the books. So with this next one, it would be to construct sidewalk segments on Southwest 6th Street between College and Davis, and then 8th Street between College and Bay. As far as why are these areas chosen, a couple reasons. If there can be an argument made that they connect key facilities, and then also keep in mind for CDBG funds, we only have 2 census block groups that are eligible. So essentially, on none of the roads outside of the boundaries of Blaylock, Birch, Sunny, and then Davis, and then it juts out to like a Academy Way. Anything outside that area we cannot use these funds for. So the estimate of this project would be about $341,000. How we come up with the local match is that where successful grant applications, donating property in lieu of payment is acceptable. And while university, they have generously in the past given the right of way for the sidewalks. In this case, I do know that the right of way we need on Southwest 6th over from Bay to Davis, they are working that through their committee now to give that to us. So that will count basically as our local match, and then the state would give the money to go engineer and build said sidewalk. So that is what this grant proposal is for.
Thank you, Mike. Now, are there any questions or comments from the council? All right, doesn't look like it. So at this time, I will open the public hearing. Did anyone submit a comment or arrange to speak today, Lisa?
No, they did not. And we do not have any attendees on Zoom. So
all right.
No testimony.
Thank you. Just one more time to check if there's any additional discussion. All right. Is there a motion to close the hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
Thank you.
Second that.
Perfect. Thank you. One more time, any other discussion? All right. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, and the hearing is closed. It is 7:29. Thank you. Okay, next, we're going to move on to the CDBG grant application for the downtown parking lot project, and Mike again will present.
Okay, thank you. So the CDBG grant buckets are divided into two buckets. The first one I just went over is the general purpose grant application, which is utilized for construction. This next one is for planning. So in this case, the general concept would be to try to get the state to pay for the engineering for that downtown parking lot and the site selection of which location is the best, because there are several locations within the downtown business district. Downtown business district, the ad hoc boundaries of that are in this map over here. So that's what this would essentially pay for, just an analysis and then the engineering to start working our way toward getting this vision established.
All right, great, thank you. So we're gonna go through council members. Hold on, I wanna make sure I'm on the right one. Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, just checking. No questions, no discussions. Okay, at this time, we gotta open another public hearing. Did anyone submit a comment or arrange to speak on this topic?
No, they did not, and we still do not have any attendees.
All right. If there's no other discussion, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So move, Councilmember Selby.
Is there a second? Councilmember Trope?
Councilmember Trope seconds.
Thank you. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, the ayes have it and the hearing is closed at 7:32 p.m. Thank you. We're going to move on to action items. We've got quite of an agenda going on here. So the first action item is the Community Development Block Grant Safe Walk College Place 6 and 8 Streets Project Resolution of Support.
Okay, thank you. Same as what I presented above, just trying to get the state to pay for our sidewalks.
All right. And at this time, are there any other questions or comment for Mike on this topic? All right, seeing none. Is there a motion?
Councilmember Selby, I move to adopt resolution number 21-021, which supports grant application to the State Community Development Block Grant Program for Safe Walk College Place project for 6th and 8th Streets.
Second, Councilmember Jerry.
First and a second, are there any other additional comments? All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? All right, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. Thank you, Mike. The next item is the Community Development Block Grant application for the downtown parking lot location assessment and planning study project resolution of support.
Okay, with this item is just do a site assessment and general engineering for downtown parking lot design. We're trying to do this because the hope is if we start doing communal shared downtown parking facilities, that will be able to attract more local businesses, as in they will not have to then build their own parking along College Avenue. So that is the goal, to try to facilitate a more walkable downtown with local businesses.
Thank you. So I'm gonna this time go through council members for any questions or comments, and I will start with Mr. Bobbitt.
No questions. Thank you, Mike.
Mr. Cleveland,
No questions.
Ms. Selby,
Mike, I've been hearing that the 2020 census results are starting to be released. Do we have any idea when they might update our census blocks?
The census blocks will not be updated until November, from what I've been told. They've only gone so far as to update data pretty much by like congressional district to see who gets what districts, but that's as far as they've gone. So it'll be November before they go to the granular level.
Thank you.
Sherman,
No questions.
and Mr. Trope.
No questions.
All
Sorry, I
right,
can't find my mute button.
that's okay. This happens to me as well. All right, is there a motion then on this resolution?
Councilmember Cleveland, I would motion to adopt resolution number 21-022, which supports the CDBG grant application for downtown parking lot location assessment and planning study, and authorizes the city administrator to submit application to CDBG.
All right, thank you. I'm so glad I'm not the only one that messes that up. So thank you so much for that. Is there a motion?
This is Heather. I'll second.
All right, thank you. Any additional discussions? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. Okay, I need to print my notes in bigger letters next time, Lisa. All right, the next item is a community development block grant. Wait, we just talked, well, no, safe walk, right? This is a new one?
This is awarding construction contract.
Construction, okay, for the Bade and Davis project construction contract, and Mr. Hartwig's not here, so Mike, are you making the
Yeah.
presentation? Okay.
Yep. So this was a grant we applied for and received 2 years ago. A lot of this was delayed due to a lot of federal red tape. We actually had to get a consultation from NOAA Fisheries and Marine Wildlife for a sidewalk project in an urban area. So that was pretty enlightening, but now that's over. So we're now able to award this out for construction. The big issue is that while we're awarding this out for construction, it seems like all the other cities and private sector are awarding projects out at the same time, and the costs are going to be pretty high locally. So the lowest bid was basically the lowest bid ended up being around 389,000 to do all the sidewalk segments. The issue afoot here is that the remaining on the CDBG grant that we received 2 years ago is about 339,000, which means that when you take into account essentially doing all sidewalk segments, plus we always programming additional money just in case of change orders or stuff, that leads to an overage of around 88,000. What I would like to propose is that what we do is we award this, but we do it basically with the caveat that first we're going to tell them to do Bathe and 12th Street, and then when we get that federal COVID money, then we'll come back in and finish Davis, and that'll be where the 88,000 comes from. It's important that we do these sidewalk segments just because we are, as you saw, we're going to CDBG for additional money because this project, we'll build it and it'll be closed up. And if we leave one of the corridors hanging, we will not score as highly. on the future grant applications through them. And then plus we're getting this federal money, which can be used for projects in which there's delays or other cost considerations due to COVID. So the recommendation is to essentially just authorize this contract, and then administratively, we're telling them to prioritize those two segments. And then when the federal contract comes, that will help cover the overage, and then we will get to constructing this and be done.
All right, thank you, Mike. So we'll go through council members for any questions or comments, and we'll start with Mr. Bobbitt. Mr. Cleveland?
Whoever ends up doing the motion, is it as it is, including the recommended changes?
Yeah.
Okay. No questions.
Okay. Ms. Selby?
No questions.
Thank you. Ms. Sherman?
No questions.
Mr. Trout?
No questions.
All right, thank you. So then is there a motion for this resolution? Or for approving, I'm sorry, for approving the construction?
This is Councilmember Selby. I move we authorize the administration to execute the agreement / contract with Nelson Corporation for the Community Development Block Grant Bade and Davis Sidewalk Project in an amount not to exceed $428,290.
Second, Councilmember Cleveland.
Thank you both. Is there any additional comments or discussions? All right. And all those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Right. The ayes have it and the motion is passed. Thank you. So let's move on to the next item is a Washington State Traffic Commission grant, preliminary sidewalk engineering support resolution. And Mr. Rizzatello will present on that as well.
Okay, thank you. We received a grant from Washington State Traffic Safety Commission a couple of years ago to do some preliminary engineering immediately around Wawa University and the sidewalk apps up there. Nice part with this grant program is the whole census block group argument doesn't really apply. You just have to demonstrate that certain routes have school children or students that essentially walk along them. So essentially the key thing with this preliminary sidewalk engineering is the proposal. It's a $45,000 grant. We'd have to spend it down when the upcoming biennium if we get it. And the general concept would be to do preliminary engineering along Northeast Ash. There's a sidewalk gap from Whitman to A, Southeast Birch Avenue from 2nd to 4th, and then also Southeast Birch from 4th to 12th because there's no sidewalk at all on Birch, and then Southeast Central from 12th to Valley. We'd be responsible for 10% project match. But this is a way to try to start the engineering going, so it'll position us in the future to get some final engineering and construction grant dollars.
All right, thank you so much, Mike. So let's go through council members for any questions or comments, and we'll start with Mr. Bobbitt.
No questions.
Mr. Cleveland,
No questions.
Ms. Selby,
Do we know if we have the right of way for this, or is that what the engineering part of the engineering study is going to be?
That's what the engineering study will be, because I can guarantee you right now in the Southeast Birch part over where I'm at, the right of way isn't there. So that's going to be a acquisition effort.
Thank you.
Ms. Sherman,
No questions.
Mr. Trout,
No questions.
thank you. Is there a motion on this resolution? Does anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 21-023, which indicates support for the grant application for the Washington State. Oh, sorry. I thought I was reading the wrong thing for a second. Okay. The Washington State Traffic Commission School Zone Safety Account for preliminary sidewalk engineering.
Second.
Great. Any other discussion? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it's unanimous. The ayes have it and the motion is passed. Next item is the Washington State Traffic Commission grant for the rapid flashing beacons and safety provision support resolution. And Mr. Rizzatello is going to present.
Okay, thank you. This grant, if we obtain it, what it would do would put additional safety enhancements or around some of the key areas where students and pedestrians cross the street, which have caused some safety issues. The one which I hear a ton is over in front of the College Place Post Office. That has been a hot topic ever since the CARS project wrapped up. So try to improve safety over there, and this would pay for the engineering and the construction. And the other one that has arisen, especially since a lot more people go out there to recreate now that the Whitman Drive Trail is in, is over by Academy Way and Whitman Drive by Rogers School and Walla Walla Academy. There are quite a few folks that actually cross Whitman Drive right there, and the only part they have stop signs is Academy Way and Hussey. Whitman Drive just goes right through. And there have been a couple of close calls over there. So that's what this would be due to me if we get this grant funded and make safety enhancements to those two areas. And it would be a biennial grant. So we would have time to essentially do this.
Great, thank you. So we're going to go through council members for questions or comments, and we'll start with Mr. Bobbitt.
No questions.
Thank you. Mr. Cleveland.
No questions.
Thank you, Ms. Selby.
No questions.
Sherman.
No questions.
Thank you. Mr. Trope.
No questions.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion? Thank you, Mr. Trope.
I would like to move to adopt resolution number 21-024, which indicates support for the grant application for the Washington State Traffic Commission School Zone Safety Account for rapid flashing beacons and safety provisions at crosswalks located in front of the College Place Post Office and Whitman Drive and Academy Way.
Thank you. Is there a
Second, Councilmember Selby.
Great. Any additional discussion? All right, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. Thank you. So there's no administration reports tonight. There are a couple of informational reports in this packet for you to review on your convenience. And one for the closing items, we do have one item for good of the order, and that is an upcoming council vacancy. Councilmember Trope is moving out of the beautiful city of College Place, and therefore position number 7 is going to be open. Information has been included on the process for replacement of a council member in your packet. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Is this, Mr. Trope, is this your last council meeting?
Yes, it is.
Well, thank you so much for the years you've given us. We sure have appreciated. You've been a very valued member of this.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it. This has been a lot of fun. I hope I get the chance to do it again.
We're gonna miss you.
Thank you.
Ms. Colwell and then Lisa.
I'm going to miss you very, very much. I'm wondering if any council member is available, if I have people that I think would be good, that they could reach out to you to kind of see the time commitment and what it involves. Anyone willing to do that?
This is Councilmember Selby. I'd be happy to do that.
Excellent. Thank you.
I can too, Ree.
Great.
I was just going to ask Mr. Trope if he would still be willing to be available for the UTAC meeting in May, or if that's a possibility.
What's the date?
UTAC is the 13th, Thursday.
That is not a good one. We're actually packing up one of the trucks for my wife to drive down that
Oh.
weekend.
I think it's
All I
totally,
need-
oh, go ahead. I was gonna say, it's totally appropriate that he got to make the last motion of today's. But again, thank you so much.
Thank you guys, all of you. I've appreciated this. It's been a really great thing for me, a great learning experience. And I love this town, this city.
You and Kelly both are going to be sincerely missed.
Thank you.
Here, I agree. Severely missed.
Thank you, Jerry.
It's been great working with you, Ryan.
Appreciate
We'll
it.
miss you.
We will definitely miss you, as will Jeb. You'll just miss him. He's headed home in a couple weeks.
Well, I'll still be here until the end of school. It's just we've got packing and trying to sell a house. So have him come by the school. Love to see him.
I'll tell him.
Has he gotten a haircut yet?
Not the last I saw.
All right. Is there any other business for the good of the order?
Well, I have a question. Byron, I'm going to obviously miss sitting next to you. But I have a more logistical question. I saw that we're not interviewing candidates until the 25th. Is that correct? Is that, yeah. Is it possible to like move that up before the filing period?
I don't see how we can because we have to keep it open for applications.
Is there a
And
requirement?
the filing period ends May 17th, isn't it?
21st. It opens on the
21st.
17th.
Opens on the 17th.
But like it says that the deadline for the submission of application is no less than 15 days from the date the notice was published, and wasn't that today?
It was published socially on social media today, but it won't be published in the paper until Sunday.
Mm.
So we could have a special meeting.
That's kind of what I was wondering, just because that filing period would be kind of weird.
Yeah,
So,
I did not realize that timing, but I would be in support of a special meeting because of that.
Okay, so the 17th is when it closes. I would need at least one day to verify eligibility. And I will scramble to get that done. And we could, of course, yeah, I guess I could notify people as they apply. How does Wednesday, the 19th work for everyone?
Could we not do the Tuesday?
That's
we need
planning
that day.
commission.
Wednesdays don't work for me.
Oh, Tuesday is planning commission.
I could make Wednesday work.
Unless we did, well, we would have to do it like early and be done by 6:30 on Tuesday in order to do it on Tuesday.
Ooh, I'd be in favor of that.
And that would depend on how many applications we get.
Right.
I could do that Tuesday or Wednesday.
Wednesday is our 10-year anniversary for the Powerhouse Theater. Put that on your calendar. So I probably shouldn't miss.
Okay, so how many people could be here ready to go?
And by here you mean at home?
I mean, virtually present, ready to go by 4:30 on Tuesday, the 18th.
I could potentially make that work. I may need to move some stuff around on my schedule. It would certainly be easier to do it on the 19th for me, but I mean, I can make either work.
Could you check with Councilmember Peterson and Nyhagen to see if what their availability will be?
Yes.
Melody?
I was just raising my hand to say yes, I could do it. It just took me a long time.
So I've got Selby and Sherman. Definitely. Councilmember Bobbitt. Any
Yeah.
possibility? Yes.
Tuesday, 4:30, the 18th of May.
Okay.
Lisa, this is Rhea. I can be there too.
Perfect. That would be necessary because we will have an executive session. Okay, I will double check with Councilmember Peterson and Nyhagen. And if at least one of them can join us, preferably both of them. But one of them we would need for a quorum. So I will make the announcement if that's going to work. If not, we will rethink it. But I understand that filing period requirement. Yeah.
Yep. We had quite a discussion on that.
Yes.
It would just be easier for us, Byron, if you didn't leave. Thanks.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
I just closed on a house today.
Ooh, congrats.
Just got to get this one sold.
Beautiful Colorado Springs.
You know, it's the town of Monument, which is about the same size. You know what they call people from Monument?
Uh-oh. What?
Monumentals. They closed school last Tuesday for snow, by the way. It was 70 here.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, again.
Thank you.
And safe travels to you and Kelly.
Appreciate it.
All right. Any other discussion item? All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Thank you.
Second.
All right. If there's no objections, then the meeting is adjourned at 7:56 p.m.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
We have a
Bye,
good night.
Byron.
Bye.